The war split Japan into two warring factions. Only the city of Toshima remained outside the law, ruled by drug lords and governed by their cruel rules. Akira makes a living by taking part in underground fights. Dozens of eyes watch his battle with excitement. His opponent can barely stand, taking blow after blow until he finally collapses. Another victory for Akira. He has no equal. After the fight, his friends invite him to have some fun, but Akira refuses again. He needs rest. However, he accepts Keisuke's invitation to meet in the evening. Keisuke is pleased even with this small sign. Back home, Akira falls asleep almost immediately. But at night, a knock on the door wakes him. The police are standing outside. The man Akira fought earlier that day has been murdered, and Akira is the prime suspect. Meanwhile, Keisuke arrives at his friend's place, just as they had agreed, but finds only an empty apartment and a discarded jacket. The traces left behind clearly show that something bad has happened. During interrogations, they try to force a confession out of Akira. He has no alibi, and the crime scene was close by. Everything points to one outcome: life imprisonment. When Akira is already in his cell, strangers appear, Emma and Gwen. They promise to get him out, but in return, he must take part in a deadly game in Toshima. The rules are simple: collect tokens by defeating opponents, and in the final, face Ilray. Akira has no choice. That same evening, he is brought home to pack his things. At the door, he sees Keisuke, who had been waiting all this time. At first, the escorts forbid them from talking, but eventually they allow 10 minutes. Akira briefly explains what happened, and then he is taken away. Keisuke is left in despair. Akira wanders the ruined streets of Toshima. He puts around his neck a token given by Emma and Gwen. Suddenly, two men with knives attack him, demanding the tokens. Several more watch from the shadows. Akira quickly defeats the attackers, but one of them drinks the contents of a vial and charges again, stronger than before. Out of nowhere, a man in a black cloak carrying a massive sword appears. Before Akira's eyes, he slaughters everyone within seconds, ignoring their pleas for mercy. Then he approaches Akira, presses the blade to his throat, and advises him to beg for his life. But Akira refuses. The stranger likes his answer. He sheaths his sword and, leaving, remarks only that Akira has beautiful eyes. Akira sits alone in the rain, surrounded by dead bodies, and realizes that this is Toshima. In search of shelter, Akira enters an abandoned house. He tries to get some rest, but soon hears strange noises. It seems he is not alone. Someone is sneaking down the corridor. Attacking the stranger, Akira is horrified to realize it is his friend Keisuke. It turns out Keisuke had been deeply worried about him and had followed him all this time, but Akira doesn't like it. He says that Keisuke doesn't belong here. However, Keisuke refuses to go back. In the morning, Akira leaves. He has to fulfill the terms of his agreement with Emma and Gwen. Keisuke asks to go with him, so Akira gives him his knife so he can at least try to survive. On the street, they witness a fight. A boy with feminine features easily takes down a huge opponent. His name is Rin. Akira and Gwen try to leave quickly, but Rin catches up with them. At first, he declares that this is his territory and they will have to pay for trespassing. But then he admits that he likes them and has too many things to do, so he decides to let them go. Keisuke then decides to join the game as well, because in Toshima anyone can die, whether they are a participant or not. Akira asks where he can get a weapon. Rin offers his knife and leads them to the castle of Arbitro. There, Keisuke is taken away somewhere, while Akira and Rin wait for him in the hall. Akira doesn't want his friend to enter the game just because of him. After a while, Keisuke returns, without a participant's tag and looking very depressed. He has changed his mind. Rin has a meeting with a friend and invites Akira and Keisuke to come along. On the way, Keisuke asks why Rin has become attached to them at all. Rin replies that he is simply tired and longs for peace. Along the way, they witness the enforcers Gunji and Kiriwara punishing someone who had crossed them. With them is a man who moves on all fours and behaves like a dog. His name is Kao. Smelling the newcomers, he starts sniffing Akira and Keisuke. Rin quickly pulls them away. Getting involved with the enforcers is far too dangerous. Soon Rin takes them to a bar and introduces them to Motomi, an information broker. There, Akira notices strange vials. A man at the counter greedily empties them one after another. Motomi explains that it's a drug. Just one sip heightens the senses, makes the body feel lighter, and greatly enhances both strength and intellect. But the price is terrible: lifelong addiction and agonizing withdrawal. At best, death. Still, many participants use the drug, since the rules of the game do not forbid it. When they are alone, Keisuke tells Akira that he won't let him go through this deadly trial alone. He will become a participant too. Together, they will kill all their enemies and claim victory. Tomi waits for Akira and Keisuke on the street. He decides to go with them to the castle. Soon after, Keisuke is taken away again, but this time he feels more confident. In one of the corridors, Motomi and Akira run into Arbitro. He is clearly displeased with the encounter, especially when he sees Motomi. Harshly, he demands that Motomi leave. Akira immediately realizes they know each other well. Motomi advises him to stay away from Arbitro, hinting that Akira is exactly his type. Akira notices a massive door bound with thick chains. Motomi explains that it is the coliseum, the arena where battles against Il-Rei are fought. The coliseum hasn't been opened in a long time. Meanwhile, Arbitro hands Keisuke 5 participant tokens and explains the rules of the game. Only by collecting a full house starting from 10s and higher can one challenge Il-Rei to battle. If you fall on your back and touch the ground during the fight, it means defeat. The winner takes the loser's token. In Toshima, it is forbidden to hide tokens, use firearms, ambush, or attack without witnesses. Rule breakers are executed by the enforcers, who maintain order. Outside, Keisuke reunites with Motomi and Akira. At the same time, Arbitro stays alone with Kao, admiring his mutilated body and calling it a work of art. On the way out of the castle, Keisuke is attacked by a blue-haired boy named Takeru. He doesn't follow the rules. Instead, he stalks newcomers and steals their tokens. Akira steps in to protect his friend, defeats Takeru, and retrieves the stolen tokens. During the fight, a necklace with a cross falls from Takeru's neck, his most precious possession. Realizing Akira's strength, Takeru retreats. Back at their hideout, the boys find Rin waiting. He warns them that staying there is dangerous, as the place is too exposed, and suggests moving to a safer shelter. Soon after, Takeru finds Akira again and begs him to return the cross, the only thing reminding him of his sister. He confesses that he dreams of defeating Il-Rei, becoming king, and getting rich. But when Akira doesn't give him an answer, he attacks again and is defeated once more. Meanwhile, Rin and Keisuke are searching for Akira. Rin finds him first and leads him to the neutral zone, where they are supposed to meet Keisuke. On the way, they encounter a group of boys shocked to see Rin. They were once his friends, but Rin abandoned them and disappeared from Toshima. Keisuke is overjoyed to see Akira alive and unharmed. Akira, however, tries to remain indifferent. Rin trades his cheap tokens for food and drinks and takes the group to a rooftop with a breathtaking view of the city. They eat and chat together. Soon Motomi leaves and Keisuke falls asleep. Rin starts asking Akira about his past in street fights, then openly admits that he finds him attractive and even tries to kiss him. Meanwhile, the night in Toshima is as restless as ever. A man in a black cloak, wielding a sword, has already slaughtered dozens. It is Shiki. To meet him means to face a nightmare. Takeru runs from his pursuers. Once again, he managed to steal some tags, but as he looks over his loot, he realizes with frustration, they're all cheap. Once again, luck isn't on his side. Suddenly, Nano appears before him and throws him a vial of line. While Takeru stares at it in shock, Nano vanishes just as mysteriously as he appeared. In the place where Shiki had just passed, Rin finds a mountain of corpses. Soon after, a crowd of scavengers arrives. They don't like that someone is trespassing on their territory. Keisuke sinks into memories. He recalls how Akira used to protect him, always getting into fights on his behalf. On a dark street, 3 men attack Akira. One of them stabs his hand and licks the blood. But only a few minutes later, the attacker collapses in convulsions. Akira rips a tag off him and runs away. Meanwhile, Arbitro entertains himself with Kao. Shiki enters the room, carrying a suitcase filled with vials. His gaze is full of contempt for the disfigured Kao. Arbitro coldly remarks that if Shiki has no other business, it's time for him to leave, since Arbitro is going to bed with his baby. After Shiki leaves, Arbitro and Kao head into the next room, where several half-naked bound men are waiting. Arbitro undresses as well and approaches them. At the same time, Akira wonders, did he break the rules by taking a tag from his fallen opponent? The man's back had touched the ground, and there were witnesses, so by the law, it counted. Suddenly, he hears the executioners approaching. Accidentally bumping into a metal pipe, Akira makes a noise and draws their attention. The executioners move toward him. Unexpectedly, Motomi appears. He hides the wounded Akira and goes out to face them himself, making it seem like he was the one who caused the noise. When the danger passes, Motomi takes Akira to a hotel where Keisuke and Rin are already waiting. Seeing the wound, Rin spends his tags to buy water and a first aid kit. Keisuke notices that his friend is hiding something and keeping his distance. But Akira cuts him off sharply, snapping that Keisuke annoys him, that he hasn't changed at all and doesn't understand anything. To prove his point, Akira shows him his first trophy tag. Keisuke is horrified at the thought. Did Akira kill someone to get it? Wounded by his friend's harshness, Keisuke leaves in anger. In the Neutral Zone Club, the place is packed with men, one of the few spots where people can feel safe. But suddenly, someone storms in and starts destroying everything. Later, Akira enters the bar. The place is in ruins with dozens of bodies lying on the floor. Among them, he finds one still living man and asks what happened. But the man is so terrified, he can't utter a word. Meanwhile, Takeru decides to take the line given to him by Nano. His body changes before his eyes, filling with strength. On the street, he runs into Akira. Now Takeru is far stronger than during their last encounter. Akira instantly realizes Takeru has taken line. A thought flashes through his mind. Maybe Takeru is the one who destroyed the Neutral Zone Club. Takeru charges at him. He easily knocks Akira to the ground and begins beating him mercilessly. Now he's certain he can defeat anyone, even Ilrei. With delight, he imagines killing Akira and licks a drop of his blood from his face. But within seconds, Takeru collapses, writhing in violent convulsions. From a distance, a mysterious stranger watches the scene unfold. Rin meets with Motomi. He is troubled by how restless Toshima has become in recent days. All the changes began with the arrival of Akira and Keisuke. Rin suggests exchanging information. He tells Motomi about line being sold at half price. But this is no news to Motomi. He has already heard such rumors. Whispers spread through the city about an approaching civil war, and that soon Toshima may simply cease to exist. Rin insists that time is running out and something must be done. Motomi replies, urging him not to go too far. Meanwhile, Takeru is tormented by unbearable withdrawal. Half-conscious, he sees visions of his sister Yukari and their parents. At that moment, Keisuke appears and finishes off the weakened Takeru, taking the cross from his chest. Akira grows more certain there is something wrong with his blood. 2 people have already died after tasting it. His thoughts are interrupted when Keisuke steps out of the shadows. His eyes are wild, his face and clothes smeared with blood. Keisuke hands Akira the cross taken from Takeru and suddenly strikes him with brutal force. Without hesitation, he throws Akira's unconscious body over his shoulder and carries him away. The night before, Keisuke had wandered the dark streets searching for Akira. The thought tormented him that he had become nothing but a burden to his friend. That was why Akira had been so harsh during their last encounter, telling him exactly what he thought. In one of the abandoned buildings, Keisuke stumbled upon vials of line. After much hesitation, he decided to drink their contents. Now he would be strong, and Akira would never have to protect him again. When Akira regains consciousness, he finds Keisuke before him. His eyes are still filled with madness. Akira understands his friend is under the influence of line. Keisuke explains that he found him by scent. Akira smells better than any perfume. Then he confesses it was he who destroyed the club in the neutral zone. Akira is horrified. Keisuke took line, which means his body will soon rot from within. But Keisuke only smirks. Wasn't this what Akira always wanted? For him to finally be able to take care of himself? Akira's words enrage him, and he begins beating his friend again. Meanwhile, Arbitro arrives at the site of the massacre in the club. He is furious that such chaos reigns in Toshima. He demands that the culprit be found and punished. Soon he is informed of a strange corpse of a man addicted to line. A witness claims the man died in agony after tasting the blood of another boy. When Arbitro shows him a photo of Akira, the witness confidently confirms it was him. Rin finds Akira, who can barely stand and looks terrible. Rin carries him to safety and asks what happened. Akira explains that Keisuke took line and caused the slaughter in the club. Later, Rin leaves on business, and Kao arrives to Akira carrying a letter in his teeth from Arbitro. In it is an invitation to dinner, with the promise to reveal an important secret about Keisuke. The condition, Akira must come alone. On the street, Akira encounters Nano. He asks him to deliver a suitcase to a man who will arrive shortly. After some time, Shiki comes for the suitcase. He throws Akira a cold warning. If he wants to live, he should forget everything he saw here. Meanwhile, Gwen informs Emma that their agent has tracked down Nano and is watching him. Emma decides to go to Toshima personally, so that Nano will never slip away again. Akira comes to Arbitro. Arbitro openly states that he knows what Keisuke has done in the Neutral Zone Club, and if Akira truly wants to help his friend, he will need Arbitro's cooperation, specifically a small sample of his blood. Arbitro tells a story. Even before the war, the government launched Project Nicole with the goal of creating a super soldier. The research involved the best scientists. In the blood of one test subject named Premier, they discovered a substance that enhanced human abilities. It was named after the project itself, Nicole. This substance later became the foundation of the drug line. Arbitro claims that the very same Nicole molecule exists in Akira's blood. When it breaks down, it produces a deadly toxin, which is why the two people who had tried it before died in agony. Arbitro is certain Akira was one of the test subjects. Akira refuses to believe it. He has no such memories. But Arbitro explains that the experiments used children from orphanages. Those deemed unfit were returned, but not before their memories were wiped. In Arbitro's opinion, Akira's blood could neutralize the toxin and save Keisuke. Akira agrees to cooperate. Meanwhile, Keisuke searches for more doses of line. Furious at Akira's disappearance, he injects himself again and goes out to hunt for his friend. Tests confirm the presence of Nicole in Akira's blood. Arbitro suggests that Akira should stay with him for the time being while additional research is conducted. Akira refuses, but armed men block his path at the exit. Arbitro insists that Akira is now far too valuable to risk. Akira swiftly defeats the guards, presses a knife to Arbitro's throat, and escapes. On the way, Akira enters a church where he finds Motomi. He shows him the results of his blood test. Motomi warns him his blood is far too dangerous. It must not be used. How does he know? Motomi reveals that he was once a scientist at the institute where the experiments took place, and that Arbitro was his colleague. Motomi is convinced there is no reliable way to save someone who has taken line. Meanwhile, Rin seeks out Shiki and challenges him to a fight. Shiki coldly asks how much longer Rin plans to flaunt his clumsiness. It turns out that Shiki is Rin's older brother. Because of Shiki, Rin betrayed his friends, and now he craves revenge. But Rin is too weak, and once again, he is defeated. Motomi tends to Akira's wounds and warns that the city is far too dangerous, that war could break out at any moment and it would be better to leave. But Akira refuses. He cannot abandon Keisuke. Motomi then asks how Akira ended up in this trap. Akira explains he was accused of a murder he never committed. Then he was given a choice: kill Il-Rei or rot in prison. Most likely there had been some arrangement between the organizers and the military. Keisuke, unable to stand aside, followed him. Motomi promises if Akira and Keisuke decide to run, he and Rin will do everything they can to help. At dawn, Akira meets Keisuke on the street. Akira admits to his friend that the night before at the hotel he said too much and deeply regrets it. He just couldn't find the right words. But Keisuke doesn't want to listen and lunges at him with a knife. When Keisuke is about to take another dose of line, Akira knocks the vial out of his hands and pushes him to the ground. He begs his friend to run away together, but this only enrages Keisuke further. In fury, he brutally beats Akira. In the heat of the fight, the blood of the wounded Akira splashes onto Keisuke's face and into his mouth. Keisuke writhes in agony and soon loses consciousness. Akira thinks he has died. However, a few hours later, Keisuke comes to. Akira carries him to a safe place. Keisuke suffers from terrible withdrawal and begs either for line or to be killed to end his torment. But after a few days, his condition eases and the friends decide to escape from Toshima together. Keisuke is still weak and can only walk with Akira's support. At the city's exit, they encounter Rin. He is soaked from the rain, his eyes full of madness. Rin demands their tags. If they refuse, he will take them by force. His goal is to collect them all and fight Il-Rei. Rin presses a knife to Keisuke's throat. To protect his friend's life, they hand over all their tags. Their escape is ruined. Akira decides to chase after Rin while Keisuke heads to Motomi. Meanwhile, in Arbitro's mansion, the coliseum is opened for the first time in a long while. Finally, a challenger for Il-Rei has appeared. Rin waits for the battle. He is certain that nothing can stop him now from facing his older brother. Akira tries to enter Arbitro's mansion, but guards block his way. He fights his way through, taking down a dozen armed men. The battle begins. Arbitro and his enforcers watch from above. Il-Rei easily knocks the dagger from Rin's hands and holds his sword to his throat. At that moment, Akira bursts into the coliseum. He is shocked to see that Il-Rei is Shiki. Akira is ready to protect Rin at any cost. Suddenly, the mansion shakes with a deafening roar. Missiles strike Toshima. Akira grabs Rin's hand and they flee the castle together. Arbitro orders his men to capture them, but insists that Akira must be kept alive and unharmed. Shiki demands to know why Arbitro wants Akira. Arbitro replies because Akira interfered with Il-Rei's fight. Shiki doesn't believe him. Then Arbitro admits what he really wants is Akira's blood. In a safe place, Akira tries to talk to Rin, but Rin is in despair. In the Coliseum, he had hoped to die and end his suffering. He has been betrayed too many times and no longer trusts anyone. Akira pleads with him to trust again. He swears he will never betray him. Rin agrees and they plan to go together to Motomi, but soon the enforcers track them down and the two friends are forced to flee once again. Keisuke is still very weak. He struggles down the street on the verge of collapse and eventually just falls. Nano approaches him. Meanwhile, the enforcer Gunji arrives at Akira's location with Kao. Just when it seems that Akira is doomed, Gunji takes a massive blow to the head, flying several meters and falling off the roof. It's Nano. He scoops Akira into his arms and hovers with him in the air. Akira remembers a boy he met on a park bench in his youth. The boy was sitting alone with no friends. Akira offered to keep him company, but the boy refused. He only said it would be nice to meet again someday. As a parting gift, the boy gave Akira a dagger, the very same dagger Akira always carries with him. Akira asks Nano again who he really is, but Nano evades the question. At that moment, Emma and Gwen arrive. Akira is surprised and asks why they are here. Emma explains that their true target is actually Nano. To capture him, they've already sent many people here, all from Akira's orphanage. This time their plan succeeds. They manage to lure out Nano. He is Premier. Emma kills Gwen, who tries to stop her from harming Nano. She explains that both Nano and Akira were created for the production of line. Nano's blood is line, and his mission was to spread the drug throughout Toshima. Emma adds that the military will soon arrive to take Nano back to the lab to continue his torment. She came to put an end to it. Emma shoots at Nano, but is the first to take a bullet to the heart. The city is full of soldiers. Akira tries to find a safe place while carrying Keisuke in his arms. Shiki attempts to kill Nano, but cannot even touch him. Nano moves with incredible speed, vanishes, and hovers in the air, a living weapon. From the rooftop Arbitro, Kao and the enforcers watch the scene with keen interest. Nano recalls meeting Shiki years ago during the war, when Shiki spared his life. Now Shiki relentlessly hunts him, determined to kill him. Nano's diluted blood is line, but taking it in its pure form can drive someone insane or kill them. Nano offers Shiki a chance to drink his blood to gain true power. Shiki agrees and bites into Nano's chest. He immediately writhes in unbearable pain and falls lifeless. Nano departs. After some time, Shiki comes back to consciousness. The soldiers spare no one, destroying everything in their path. To divert attention from the weakened Keisuke, Akira runs in the opposite direction, desperately fending off armed troops. At that moment, Keisuke himself rushes to his side. Feeling an incredible surge of strength, he decides to help his friend, realizing that Akira is in mortal danger. Akira and Keisuke worry about what might have happened to Rin and Motomi and rush toward the church. But Shiki blocks their path. He points his sword at Akira and demands that he follow him. Akira tries to fight back, but his opponent is too strong. Keisuke intervenes but receives a fatal sword strike and dies in Akira's arms. After drinking Nano's blood, Shiki has grown significantly stronger, gained many of Nano's abilities, and even surpassed Nano himself. Motomi waits at the church for Akira and Keisuke. They have been gone too long, and he begins to realize that something has gone wrong. Rin sets out to scout the situation. Akira weeps over Keisuke's body, blaming himself for his death. At that moment, Shiki appears, and Akira lunges at him with a knife. Rin intervenes in the fight, not recognizing his older brother. Shiki drives his sword into Rin's leg. Nano appears and transports Akira and Rin to a safe location. Rin cannot move on his own and asks Akira to leave him behind and save himself. But Akira had once promised he would never abandon him. They ask Nano how he plans to live going forward, advising him to avoid the military and live a normal life. The enforcers refuse to continue serving Arbitro. Akira and Rin reach the church where Motomi is waiting. Together, the three of them escape Toshima alive. Snow falls as if trying to conceal the tragedy that unfolded in the city. Akira returns to his former peaceful life. At least here, he will not die in battle. He visits Rin in the hospital, and the doctors promise that he will soon be able to stand on his feet. No matter how terrible the tragedy in Toshima was, it cannot simply be forgotten. Akira makes the decision to challenge fate and return to Toshima.